So my story is pretty unique. I have a varied background, Adam. I came from the corporate sales world. My last real job was actually with a company called Intuitive Surgical. I sold the DaVinci robot and across the Northeast, and was super blessed to be a part of that organization. The technology was incredible, company was incredible. But there was a moment when I was just about 30 where I realized I'm not doing this another 30 years. And, I was checking all the boxes from a success standpoint. I was making good money, I had a nice title. It was at an impressive company, but, the challenge for me was just work-life balance. And if I was looking about how I was going to create financial freedom in my life, it wasn't going to be working for somebody else. And so for me, that's what prompted the journey of investing in real estate. And the goal really was to replace my income. So, through acquisitions of some residential real estate, the idea was I was going to replace my income as quickly as I can. How I got started in real estate was with duplexes, right? I started just like almost every other real estate investor in the history of the world. You buy residential in the town that you live in and figure that you're going to be a landlord. And we built up a nice portfolio with those. And very quickly, Adam, I realized that I hated it. It was the worst, and certainly was very challenging for me to scale to what I wanted to do. And the biggest issue with it wasn't necessarily the real estate, it was the people, and it was soul sucking for me. It was constant people issues, not necessarily, plumbing or electrical. It was dealing with people. And so very quickly, I realized that I did not really want to be an operator. I just wanted to be an owner. So we ended up selling that portfolio, and so I had a little bit of cash. And I heard or read, and I wish I could give credit to who said it, but ostensibly big deals and small deals are the same amount of work. You just make less money on small deals. And so for me, it was about understanding how do I get to scale. And what I wanted to do was commercial multifamily at that point. So, with commercial multifamily, think about it from an occupancy standpoint. If I have a duplex and I lose one tenant, I'm 50% occupied. If I have a 100 unit facility and I'm lose one tenant, I'm 100% full, I'm 99% occupied. So much different scale. And so we ended up, very long story short, I connected with a family that I hadn't talked to in 20 years from where I grew up. And they were a construction company, and we ended up developing a 64 unit ground up apartment complex in a town not too far from where I grew up in. And that, Adam, was really the light bulbs for me at understanding two things. Is one, this is how you scale in real estate. And two, just the learning experience of going through that development process with a great partner was incredibly valuable for me. So at that point, that's where I said, okay, this is how you make money in real estate is at scale. And so, after that project's done, which we still own today, the project's doing great. We started investing in multifamily projects around the country, mostly as a passive investor. And really, for me, that's where I looked at the world and said, that's where I can bring value, is on the equity side. It wasn't really, I did not want to be an operator. And even when we had the 64 unit, we third-party managed that almost immediately because I wanted nothing to do with it. So for me, it was about deploying capital in space and creating passive income. And we did that till about 5 years ago. And I said to myself, cap rates can't continue to keep compressing in multifamily. There's no way that this asset class can continue to do this. So we started looking at other asset classes, and I'm a data guy. So I started looking at historical returns, which asset classes has performed best. And then more importantly, what had the most recession resiliency attached to it. And so, I like the data set, Adam. It's called the National Association of REITs. They have a 25-year historical look back on all publicly traded REITs. And if you look at storage through that 25-year period, it's outperformed all the core four, right? So apartments, retail, office, industrial. Self-storage did just under 17% a year over the last 25 years. So it had this incredible run. And then if you looked at 2007, 8, 9, this was obviously pre-COVID, it did very well, lost less than 4% of the value in 2007, 8, 9. So I had this asset class that really had done well with some really nice recession resiliency. And then the third thing, and this is really the selling point for me, was the market is very fragmented. So less than about 25% of the market is owned by 5 publicly traded REITs, and the rest is very fragmented. You know, there's regional operators like Reliant. There's still a lot of mom and pop type owners. And so that left me looking at it saying there's a lot of runway in this particular asset class as the market starts to consolidate. So that's why I made the jump to self-storage.